This is the Guthrie Parks Board meeting for Thursday, September 17th, 2015. I'd like to call to order at 6:31. To the second item on the agenda, consider approval of minutes for the July 16th Parks Board meeting. Has everyone had a chance to... Oh, and I need to call roll, actually. So let me go back.
And then we'll have public comment. It's not on here, but
Okay. Okay. Let me skip back. Let's call roll. If you're here, please say present. Zach Lorio here. Members Jean Lucina, Ben Coffin here, Mary Beth Craven, and Elise Ellis
here.
Okay, and Maxine. So we have quorum. And so, moving on to public.
I'd like to have a
comments.
chance for Mr. Torres to speak. It should have been on here, but
Okay.
it's just a public, and then we will talk with you
All right.
on your.
I'm in no hurry.
So,
Okay.
And we're not either, so.
Yes.
so if you'll just have a seat up here so you can, the camera can be on you and tell us.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, Lord. Should have combed my hair.
And this is, he called me the other day about donations.
Okay.
And so I've been busy.
Gotcha.
And I wasn't really quite sure what we needed to do, but tell them what you had in mind.
Well, my concern was Liberty Lake. I didn't realize that lake was here, and I've lived down in this area for about 5 years now. Well, me and my family's been going there, and I've noticed there's been some upkeep and things going to it. The beach is, as y'all know, there's nothing there, and we
Yes.
spoke at different times about. My concern is, are we gonna be able to put some sand there for a beach next year, make it a little bit more family-oriented, things of that nature, and I was wondering what the cost was gonna be. And I don't remember what the gentleman was that called me the other day, a day after I talked to you, talking about wanting to put a retaining wall and some things there.
Oh, was it Anthony Gibbs?
I don't remember, I don't remember the name.
Here we are.
So he said, well, we need to put a retaining wall and some things, and I said, well,
What we have to do is we have a plan
okay,
for the Liberty Lake. As far as donations, I would like very much for you to get with, I'll need to find out how you need to process this. I'll find out from Anthony what needs to be done, and then prior to the sand coming in, and then we can probably do a better job of telling you where and how.
sure, because like I said, I know
So,
your process
I guess,
of that. And like I
yes.
say, what phase are we going through? It's not sense putting it in now in the winter,
No.
because it's gonna be gone by
No.
next year, and if I say, then nothing else is gonna be washed off into the lake.
And I'm not sure, this is the first I've heard about retaining walls, so.
Okay, I don't know the gentleman's calling, I was gonna find it.
I think I have your phone number and everything.
Yes, I believe he's running, man, 405 if you need it, 831-1385.
And state your name again, so. we
Dwayne
have it.
Torres, Torres.
We apologize for the delay.
It's all right.
And like I say, I live actually in Simpson, I don't know if that's Edmond, it didn't make me no difference,
Yeah.
I don't care, I have an Edmond address, but I know that's very
I
close to
had
my
asked
house.
him to come, and for some reason or other, it didn't get on here, but that's neither here nor there. And because he wants to donate to the Liberty Lake as a
Well,
park, because.
And
there's-
also, from whether it be sand or whether,
Time, effort, whatever it
Time,
takes, we want to
yeah,
get it cleaned up, and
that's
I'm
what
so glad to help.
we
Donate.
have lots of kids and grandkids, and we have a big family, and they're all,
And we love volunteers.
And we have friends, and we're going out there regularly, and so we have been working on people and saying, look, you guys need to put the time into this place, excuse me, to work out here. Just come out on a Saturday and spend 10 or 12 hours, or 2, we don't care, but let's get something rolling with it.
That what's in your plan, and that's just kind of what phase you're in, what you're gonna work with
Right.
it, what's the,
Okay.
things coming up for the future.
All right.
Great.
And
Well,
so-
thank you so much for coming.
Yes.
I
No problem.
apologize
Thank you.
that.
It's not a problem,
We just wanted to
but
let
get in contact with me, and whenever y'all decide we want to do
That's
something, we'll
great.
get worked out. All right?
And you're welcome to stay and listen to.
Well, if you don't mind, I'll listen.
No, we'd love to.
I'll get off the camera again. I don't know which other way.
Thank you so much.
We'd love to have people
I'll be glad to
come
listen.
that are interested in our parks.
And then 1, 3, and 5, and that's Dwayne's.
Okay, now you can go to your.
Okay, alrighty.
Number 2.
To the second item on the agenda, consider approval of minutes for the July 16th meeting for the Parks Board. Has everyone had a chance to look over the previous minutes? And if so, do I hear a motion to,
I do, I motion.
police motions to approve the minutes? Is there a second? There's a second. All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
All
So-
opposed?
All opposed. So it was unanimous, so it passes. On to the third item. Discussion and action on the approval of the Highland Park Neighborhood Association signs for Highland Hall and the Logan County Aging Service. We have Joe Chapel here to speak with us about it. And Joe, if you'd like to.
I think we have a couple here that you all can look at.
So I guess I have the floor.
You have the floor.
All right.
It's all yours.
First of all, I just
Oh,
want to,
please take the
I
chair
I
there so
certainly
that
can.
the camera can see you.
I
And they've
can.
also posted that on the
Oh, that's great.
screen so that you can
Yeah.
have it there here.
Okay. And before I begin, just to give everyone here who's not familiar with,
State who you are and who you
oh, I'm Joe Chappell, and I'm a board member of Highland Park Neighborhood Association. Former president, now just a board member. I think Mary Beth is a board member as well. So maybe she'll have to recuse herself from voting on this, but I'll let Maxine decide that. But before I begin, I just want to give you a little history of our neighborhood association. We're in our 5th year. We have, our mission was not only to develop a neighborhood by being friends with your neighbors and getting together and knowing each other and creating a watch program, but we also, we sort of centered our attention on adopting Highland Park. And over the past 5 years, and I didn't really write down a list of all the things we've done. Blue might be able to help me a little bit if I forget something, but and Blue was pretty much involved in all of these things as well. But we painted the pavilion in the southeast corner, the inside, which was quite an ordeal. Fortunately, I was out of town, but I sent a nephew and a friend of mine. We scraped all the new window decals out of the windows in the pool building and in Highland Hall. We have planted shrubs to the entrance sign. We have we repaired the small pavilion where the bricks had fallen out, and we got a gentleman that was a bricklayer to do that. And of course, all of these services are things that we've been able to provide free to the city. Most recently, we've had some people doing community service that removed all the grass out of the sand around the playground equipment, and made a pretty good dent at Mineral Wells too, but he got all of his hours and he didn't quite finish it. But it still looks a lot better. And we have a lot of people that walk the trails and pick up trash daily.
daily, yes.
And if you walk through the park, and then one thing that I wanted to say is that I use the trails quite frequently, and the park's looking great. The entry sign, the bushes have been trimmed up, and it just looks beautiful. And I can see that there's a lot of that park particularly has a lot of hedges. And of course, we've got those old straggler trees that grow up, but I can see that.
working on it.
I know, they're being attacked.
Working on it.
And the trail, I just ran through there night before last. And it just looked really good, and there was a black bench there that someone had graffitied, and it's been painted. There's a park bench, that old concrete park bench that's green. It had been graffitied and it's been painted. So I just want to thank the park board and, you know, all your workers, not, you know, and Blue in particular, because I know he sort of sees these things and gets them done. But, and Mineral Wells, I mean, if you just go through those two parks right now, you'll be so proud of your city's parks. Both entry signs, there's been some attention to detail, and our pavilions and the ponds and the fountain. I mean, you really just feel like you're walking through a special place when you go through there. So I wanted to say that
Thank you.
before. And Veterans Park, Honor Park up here, looks smashing. And I know that when I was on the park board, there was some debate on, you know, who was supposed to keep the grass out of the sidewalks. And I don't know who's doing it, probably the city, but it looks great. And I even called Maxine a couple of weeks ago to say that, and, you know, I have a little bit of eye to detail. Maxine may think that I only notice things that look bad. I'm going to tell a story about my mother, just shortly. My mother had told me that in front of our retirement center, the curb just looked awful. You know, the leaves and the dirt, and so I went out there and I cleaned it up, got a wheelbarrow, and I had it looking great. And it was, you know, I kept waiting for her to tell me that it looked great. And I said, Mom, have you noticed the curbs out front? And she goes, oh, honey, I never notice when things look good. And I know we're all a little bit like that. You know, we sort of,
I like that.
we miss all the great things that are going on. But Guthrie's sidewalks downtown have never looked better than this year. I can honestly, I mean, you walk up and down the streets, there's no weeds on the curbs, and somebody's doing it and not getting credit for it. I just want to, are you doing that one?
He's getting great.
You're doing it. Well, there you go. But Guthrie looks great. So, that being said, with the projects that we've been doing, we have, and I don't know that you all are aware of this because I think the park board approved the benches and the landscaping project for Highland Hall when I was on the park board. And I don't know if any of you were on it then. Were you? But the Highland neighborhood bought commercial grade benches, and I don't know if you all have seen them, and I just left there. And I sort of wanted to give you, you do have this is our sign, which I think you said had already been on screen. And I took a picture of the front of Highland Hall so that this makes more sense.
Okay.
So you've got we've never been able to figure out what these two little,
It used to be windows.
and they're plywood, and the plywood is really decaying. And part of our proposal is that we're going to replace that plywood, and this will be a brand new surface to paint on.
So will this,
Yes, this one on the right, and this one on the left. And of course, our hope was with the Logan County Aging Services so that they will be able to get rid of their real estate sign that's out front, so that it just looks, you know,
A little more professional.
yeah, a little more professional. And that's such a beautiful building. And we have raised $750 to do this project, and Z is giving us that's a discount just because it is a community project. This particular one has an attempt at some of the color. Now, we did tell Z that we want Highland Hall, and we're open to recommendation, but we don't want this to look like John Deere.
Right.
We were thinking this is more of a cream than a yellow.
Yeah.
Okay, and the green, the roof is green, and we're just trying to make it look period. And then of course you'll see the Model T is going to be there in the picture. And is that a Model T or a Model A?
I couldn't tell you.
No one here knows. It's an old car. So anyway, the old car is going to be there, and this is just another project that our neighborhood is wanting to go ahead with. And if we get the approval from you, this will start very shortly, probably within the next week or two. So I think that's pretty much it. If you have any suggestions or recommendations, we can, what do you think?
I like it.
I
You like
think
it?
it's very nice.
I like it.
And I did want to show you, see there's one, that you might pass that around. There are 2 benches. And those aren't benches that you buy at Lowe's. They're big metal ones. And they were, well, I mean, I'll just tell you, the neighborhood association and all of our money, it's not even donations. To be a member, it's $10 a house to be a member of our neighborhood association. And those benches cost $1,500, and all of that money was raised just through our membership fees.
That's wonderful.
And we pretty much exclusively use our money to benefit the park. And I think our next project is we would like to raise money to help restore what we consider the iconic part of the park is this, the Sandstone Entrance, which needs some attention. I know it probably needs a lot more attention than the amount of money that we can raise, but at least from our membership fees, but maybe like, maybe we could get some people to donate money in our neighborhood.
We've had a difficult time, we had set aside a little money a couple of years ago to do those entrances, but we could not find anybody that would tackle that job.
Oh, really?
The sandstone is totally different. So you're a businessman, Mr. Torres, maybe have some ideas.
But primarily from looking at that, and I know this is well off subject, but the sandstone is pretty intact, but it's the concrete capping on it that is deteriorating, and without that, sandstone is so erosive
We couldn't get us to give them.
that it could, so there's got to be someone somewhere in Oklahoma.
I'm sure there is, we'll find
But
somebody.
anyway, that's not what I'm here for, but basically to get this design improved and let Z start on the building. You may notice that we moved the comma. We're not, I don't know if you ever, I didn't even notice it till Z pointed out. It's almost like it was highlandhall.com. But we don't even know why there was a dot at the end of it. Yep. So he moved the dot.
There you go.
So it's not going away. But isn't that odd?
You don't notice that.
No, I never.
Period.
Z was the one that pointed it out. Do you want the dot? So, but anyway, that's our proposal, and our neighborhood association is eager to get started on it. If you all think it's a good idea.
I make the motion that we approve the sign as presented by Joe.
And I second.
Okay, so there's been a motion to approve the signage as proposed by Joe, and there's been a second. So all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So,
Thank you very much.
Joe, that's
thank you
great.
so much.
So in the next week or two, take a drive through. He'll be working on it.
Great,
And
great.
he
Thank
did
you.
all the garden club signs too. Z, his name is gonna.
Oh, and another thing I was even going to mention, I had it on my list, but even like coming in off on Highway 33, coming into town, doesn't it look great? I mean, the new road, and everything's mowed, and I drove around all day in Oklahoma City, and when I got back to Guthrie, and I got off the highway, and I was driving into town, I was like, I am so glad I live here. I mean, seriously, that's how good it looks. It's rare in an Oklahoma town, if you want to know the truth, to live in a town that's.
My people work so hard.
Well, they do, and
And
they
they're
need to be thanked for it. So
They'll
I thought
make
I would bring that.
Make it thankful.
Well, one of the things that's not on the agenda, but I'll just share with you in about 2 seconds, is that the garden club is gonna paint I'm Mary Beth Craven with the garden club group. But anyway, we're gonna put a clear coat on that big sign by Brahms to protect the paint and take care of what we've got before it starts fading on us, because it really looks good.
It's a great looking sign, yeah.
to be part of your staff report?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
okay.
So we'll move on to the staff report. Thank you so
Okay,
much for,
thank you, guys.
for everything.
Thank you,
Joe,
Joe.
Staff report.
Well, we've just been working hard.
Yes. Yes.
Blue can tell you, he's been.
Yeah, we just getting ready for events. We got car show this weekend. We got MS Bike, Oklahoma next week. We got Bluegrass the week after.
We've got bam, bam,
So-
bam, just big events.
Getting ready.
What was the one after the car show?
MS Bike event.
Oh,
It's
okay.
for they're gonna bike from
Norman.
Norman to Guthrie, and the park will be closed for this. It's the muscular sclerosis bike, and it's gonna be a big deal. A lot of people, but I think it'll be a good thing for Guthrie.
It's the
For
art
sure.
and wine after.
The art and wine is the
Same week as
same week
Bluegrass.
as Bluegrass.
Okay.
Right.
So we've got 3 big events in the next 3 weeks. And the art and wine, and then the quilt, the territorial quilt is that same weekend. So the first weekend in October is going to be huge.
Busy.
And I just want to say thank you, Joe, and thank this park board. I mean, it's been great and nice,
And a
and,
great park board.
and I like the way it's going.
Yeah. And we'll get you involved some way.
Yeah, we can do
A
that.
lot of things going on.
We can do that.
That's what I just mentioned to Elise, is that he's been in Guthrie maybe 5 years. My grandmother lived here forever, and so I've been here for years and years. And you're very right. There are times that when I was a kid that I was like, I have to go to Guthrie, it's so ugly, I don't like it there, you know, and everything. And then there would be a flow, and things would get a little busy, and things would get done. And then you'd kind of go back and go, I don't want to go there again, you know, and everything. But in the 5 years even that we've been here, the difference even in the town, just 5 years ago when we came up here opposed to coming now we come all the time, you know, where.
We've got some dedicated people.
Yes.
And it's nice, and you can
And
see.
that goes for boards like this.
Yeah.
That makes a difference.
Yeah, yeah. Guthrie has got a huge volunteer pool. They volunteer a lot, and we love them. That means their heart's in our community.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I say anything?
You can
Happy
say
very
what
good. Yes, let's go.
Well, I've been out of circulation with a broken leg, so I'm
Yes,
still
yes.
getting back into circulation. But the Garden Club had their first meeting this last week, and I didn't get a chance to talk to you, but Sue DeSharm is gonna help us with some plantings around the signs. We can't take responsibility as far as volunteers because there's not very many of us, there's 25 of us. But I'm gonna meet with you all and whomever else to put it together. But if you look at the gazebo garden, that's one little 80-year-old lady in our garden club, Myrna.
Are you talking about on the corner?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She
And I want
does
to say,
that.
doesn't that look better than the
Oh,
75?
yes, absolutely.
Ever.
And 2 of our beds in the park, in Mineral Wells Park's done by one lady.
Yeah, Miss Hurley does
Miss
that.
Hurley does
That old,
that.
she?
that little old Shakespeare park?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Shakespeare and the
looks
other one.
great.
She has
does.
raised, oh
Wonderful
yeah,
job.
she
Yeah.
just adopted them.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna keep at it and try to do it in coordination with the city. We've talked about a light for the sign, we've talked about water to the sign, and if not, a hose from somewhere that we can drag across. Or maybe we can get Blue to water it.
We'll
But
we'll
anyway,
figure something out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but by the next meeting, I should be able to give you a report on, and put it on the agenda of the Garden Club cooperative effort. And I'm open to suggestions.
Okay. And please do, when Shelby sends out the agendas the first time asking for input, please feel free to put things on the agenda. I mean, if it's something we just need to talk about, or, you know, anything that relates to our lovely parks.
Yes.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Reese, you have anything? Okay.
I want to know, I do have one thing. What about the duck at Highland Park that tacks when you go walk?
Oh, really? Well, I always walk with my dog and I don't have that
Can we do something about that mean duck?
Maybe you can just leave him down there. Handle that duck.
Wish we'd known about that before we voted on the.
That is so funny. Yeah, maybe we need to move the duck hunters to Highland Park.
Okay, Ben?
I know.
Nothing. Okay. All right, and I just want to say, yeah, thank you so much for you and your guys for taking care of the city. I mean, it's just looking absolutely gorgeous. And I know I'm just echoing what you said, Joe, but
Thank you.
yes, it's just glorious. So what a great town. Okay, well, with that being said, we're on to, I guess, yeah, adjournment at 6:56. Thank you.
Wow.